Buffalo survived 14-9. Pass interference was called on the second to last play, putting the ball at the 1. But the final lob from Tyrod to Darren Waller also looked like blatant jersey grabbing pass interference. Richard, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, it looked like that, but as a DB, you're taught in the red zone, fight to the last whistle. They got to call it, make them call it, especially from the 1 yard line. What's the penalty? What's the worst that could happen? They get to replay it from the 1 again? I mean, at the end of the day, the DB did all he can. But the refs are having too big of an effect on ball games week in and week out. I saw it this Thursday when we had the prime game. We had Kansas City and Denver. There was a Kareem Jackson interception. Ball was overthrown clearly. He intercepted it. They called pass interference after the ball was intercepted. You see in the San Francisco 49ers game, there was 3rd and 11. They threw a slant into cover 4. There was a hit, a clear, clean hit by Tayshaun Gibson, and they call a flag, and they affect the ball game. And then here, they don't call the flag, and they affect the ball game. This one, I think they didn't call because they were in Buffalo, and they wanted to make sure they got home to their families. They know how it is in Buffalo, and they know what's waiting for them in that parking lot. So they knew they had to get home to their families. They already called one. They said, we can't call another one. They said, we can't call 2 of them tonight. But the frustrating part is I don't see enough punishment for these referees. Sure, they get the point system. Sure, they get privately reprimanded and corrected. But there's not enough punishment. Hey, they don't get to go to the playoffs. I mean, of course, but you're affecting livelihoods and ball games. And I'm sure these bettors are like, man, you're affecting my bank account. So I feel like there needs to be more accountability for these refs.
Okay, so Richard, before we give it to Michael, was that blatant to you? Blatant pass interference?
It was obvious. It was obvious, at least a hold.
Yeah. He grabbed his jersey. Go ahead, Mike.
And I disagree on the pass interference. I thought it was a good no call.
A good no call?
I thought it was a good no call. And the first time, it was definitely pass interference because he held them when they brought the ball down to the 1. But right then, right there, for that play, what I would have loved to have seen when Darren Waller was just trying to get his hand on the ball to knock the ball down, I would have loved to have seen that throw be almost like a jump shot, just kind of throw it up and let it come down right there. It's the last play instead of letting it go through the end zone like that. But I didn't call that a PI. I call that a systemic issue because they've had the same situation right before the half, and I thought handled that as poorly as you can handle it when they handed the ball off. I don't mind that you hand the ball off. 15 seconds is enough time. I could get off a run play and spike this football. It was 14 seconds to be exact. Enough time to get off a run play and spike this football if we were all playing to do it. Look how everybody's just kind of hanging around. I need everybody lining up and 1 or 2 people pulling everybody off of the runner, and we line back. You see, it's too late now. So the whole plan went bad. They should have kicked the field goal right there. When you get back down there, you kick the field goal and win the football game. It was just a bad situation for the Giants. I didn't think that last play was pass interference, but Tyrod Taylor did a good job. The Giants still hadn't scored a first quarter TD yet this season.
No. So, Michael, you're saying if you had been in Darren Waller's shoes or cleats at that point, and that DB had grabbed a hold of your jersey as you tried to rise, you would have been cool with it.
No, I'm not saying I would have been cool with it. I would have been yelling and hollering, especially if the results would have been what the results are, which mean they didn't make the play. I'd have been yelling and hollering, trying to get some help. But hit Skip, the nickname, the playmaker. You can be right there. Cover me, and I'm still going to make that play. Yeah, that's where the nickname come from. And I needed Waller to make this one.
Okay, so you say Darren Waller could have gone up through the grab and just snatched the ball out of the sky, but you didn't like the toss anyway.
I didn't like the toss because this is the last play.
Yeah.
And Darren Waller's a bigger guy. I don't want to throw any ball that's moving through. I want to throw this ball so it's coming right down, and we're playing basketball. If you make the play, you make the play. If you throw an interception, whatever, whoever, we just got to have a playmate on this football.
Yeah. Okay. So I like Darren Waller a lot. Had him on the show when we were at the Super Bowl. He's
incredible story.
He's a great story and an
incredible story.
He's a good young man.
Yes.
Every once in a while, you question the motor. Does he go 1,000 miles an hour like you and Keyshawn played, Richard played? Not always. And so, to me, I'm with you on this. The ball was still somewhat catchable. It was going to take a great play by the playmaker. But the point is, if he had gone up a little stronger with a little more conviction, I thought it was still reasonably, maybe he'd have to tip it to himself a little bit, but he could have got fingertips on it and tried to control it that way and fought through the contact. It was just, to me, blatant jersey grab. And if you grab a jersey, it's just pass interference.
But see how that ball's going through. Now imagine if it just kind of give a similar. You remember the Tim Tebow little fake dive,
jump pass.
Mm-hmm. That ball coming, it goes up and comes back down. It's going to have an opportunity to make a play. Right here, the reason he's off balance is because he feels he has to get up now before that ball gets by him to go out of bounds. I'm just saying, you give that guy an opportunity to make a play on that ball without throwing it through.
You got to watch his left hand. You got to watch his left hand. He can't get it up there. He can't get it up there because his jersey's getting pulled and he's not able to lift his left hand. Because if he's able to lift his left hand, that's a grab. So if he's able to lift his left hand and elevate like he wants to and not get pulled back down, that's not gravity pulling him down. Irv, that's not gravity pulling him down. That's the man pulling him down. And he got away with it. So you got to give him credit. I'm a DB. So, hey, at the end of the day, if it ain't called, it ain't a penalty. But right there, I can't say that's a bad pass or a bad this because he put it right where your 6'5", 6'6" tight end can get it, and only he can get it. And if he's not getting grabbed right there and pulled back down, I think he goes and gets that and comes down, and that's a touchdown.
All right. Now back to the end of the first half. It looked like Tyrod changed the play at the line of scrimmage because it was, you had an option run pass. And he went with the run because something told him he could pop Saquon through into the end zone. And I don't have any problem. If you really like what you see and you believe that it's going to work, go for it. But the risk is you're not going to get the ball spiked and you're going to come away with 0 points instead of the 7 that you were looking at when you went to the audible.
Right.
So
it's not just the play, it's
just too risky. And yet I didn't love it that Brian Daboll, he was stalking off, he was furious, and then he decided to pivot and go back and ream Tyrod on camera just to drive home the point. It was your fault, not my fault.
I felt that too, Skip.
Leave him be. Come on.
I felt that too.
I felt that. But they had the numbers. They had the numbers. That's what Tyrod saw. Tyrod saw.
He did.
They had the numbers. They didn't block it right. He had the numbers to run the ball. He had the box.
But the issue is. And I love what Skip is saying here because Tyrod should have told everybody in that huddle, this is what we're doing, and when we get it, if we don't get it, we're spiking the ball. Now, the reality is, head coach, you should have made sure they all knew that before that situation came down, or don't send in the option. Make sure you send in one play, and that's a pass that has to be executed right now. So you do have culpability in that. And so walking off, going after Tyrod like that, I didn't like that either.
If you don't want him to call the other option, don't give him an option.
Don't give him an option. Don't give him an option.
Pass, sprint pass.
Right, because he's going to read that box. And if you light in the box, that's the opportunity. And if your line, who has a light box, didn't take care of their job, well, ream them. Don't do that to the quarterback. That's what I didn't like.
All right.
Right.
Now,
and then what you saw right there for the defense is what your coach should do. In a situation where the time's running out, you take your time getting up. You lay there. You relax. You stay on them, and you don't let them get back to the line of scrimmage.
Okay. They won the game right there on that play, as it turned out. All right. If you look at the scope of the game, if you step back from the game, to me, Tyrod Taylor, who's had success in this league, he's played a lot of football at a pretty high level. I'm not saying he's great, but he's pretty good. And the beauty of last night was he did not turn the ball over one time. And all the little big plays that needed to get made, he made every one. He outplayed Josh Allen at Buffalo. That's pretty good when you get thrown into the fire out of nowhere where you haven't played all year, obviously, to the point that you look at Daniel Jones and you say, he's always doing something wrong. He does a lot of good things and he does a lot of bad things. Well, Tyrod he did one bad thing on the audible, and that was the only thing that cost them the whole night. Otherwise, he played well enough to win the football game. So I think there's a lesson learned there for the Giants. The guy they just gave all the money to, he just makes too many big errors at the worst time that defeat you, where you can't overcome them. It was amazing that Buffalo, they actually stole the game back thanks to the referee. They turned it over twice, and Tyrod and company turned it over 0 times. So maybe.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the same offensive line that Daniel Jones has been playing.
Same one.
He's missing his left tackle. Same one. He's been getting sacked behind.
Same deal.
But Tyrod's making quick decisions.
He did.
He's making efficient decisions. And his touchdown to interception ratio has been 2-to-1 his entire career. So he's not going to just give the ball away.
Yeah.
Right. And that Giants defense last night,
They played out of there.
That front, boy, they were coming all night. I got to give them credit. They played well. They played well. But yesterday, a lot of defensive lines decided the fate of games, and we had a chance to see that. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. All right, up next, we got to talk about this because it happened. Dion, Coach Prime, so great, and in the end, so sad. That's next.
This one confused me. This one really.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.